Hello, everyone. Welcome to Favorite Free or Cheap Fundraising Tools.
Okay, let's switch to productivity tools. So we did some fundraising ideas. Where do we go for ideas? We did some tools on, okay, how do we actually use that? What are some things we can do there? Now let's do productivity. What are some ways we can look at doing things more efficiently? Doing the right things more efficiently. What is some speed? I'm going to talk a little bit about productivity systems. I do a whole productivity webinar. Encourage you to keep an eye out for that whole session where we can really dig deep into this, but I'm going to get you started on that path a little bit and share some tools and a little bit of what I do and works for me and maybe might work for you as well. But the key here is this is personal productivity. What works for me may not work for you. Some of these things I might say in there like, really? There's no way. I just don't think that way. I get it. That's right. We don't all think that way. So my first recommendation is a book. And I don't have it here to hold up because I have it out on loan to somebody. It seems like it's always on loan because people ask me this question all the time. Chad, you're crazy organized, or you talk about productivity all the time. What should I do? And I can't tell you what to do because I don't know your productivity style. So that's the starting point. Starting point is learn your style. And my book to help you with this is Work Simply by Carson Tate. It talks you through productivity styles. There are 4 primary productivity styles: the prioritizer, the planner, the arranger, and the visualizer. Seeing these words, you probably have a sense of what you are already. Most of us are a bit of a blend. So I am a prioritizer and an arranger. I like to move things around, have everything lined up. So my tools need to allow me to do that. I don't need things as visual. I'm fine with text lists as long as I can move them into categories and arrange them where I want. I also don't need big written out plans. I'm fine with little prompts because I'm not a planner in that regard. But what is your style? What's your tool? That's going to tell you the tools. So this book, brief introduction, then it does an assessment of your personal productivity style. And then what I love about the book is it recommends specific tools or types of tools that'll work just for you. So that's the starting point. That's how you make personal productivity. Make it personal. Figure out your style and go from there. There's no right or wrong style. Key is knowing your style and owning it. Don't force a tool just because you like it or, it's the standard default at your organization. If Outlook Task does not work for you, find a different system. You don't have to use the standard. All right, but let's look at some of the tools I use within my system. And the key for me in any system is capture. Capture. You need a way to get it out of here and into a trusted system. So for me, my primary tool there is a Moleskin Notebook. A Moleskin Notebook, just like this one, just the one on the screen. I actually prefer a grid rather than a lined. Again, personal preference, but if you have nice tools that you like, you will use them. So what's your nice tool? Do you need a floral notebook? Do you not need a notebook? Whatever. And then even down to continuing the tools, something you like to write with. I love these. I love Pigma Micron pens. It's kind of a hard felt tip. It flows super smooth and easy on the Moleskin. I like the number 5 if you want to get real specific, but it's a tool. It's a capture device. I always have this with me. But what do I record in it? I'm not taking diligent notes. I want to be paying attention to the person I'm having a conversation with, especially if it's my donor, client, someone like that. So this is really for me just to record action items, And beside them, I put a checkbox. And then once this task or action item goes into my system, onto my to-do list or wherever I need to do, it gets checked off in here and I know it's done. Simple. It's a trusted system. It doesn't let anything fall through the cracks. It's a capture tool. Capture is so important that I've worked to eliminate any places where I can't capture something. One of the biggest ones for me was the car. Before the current reality, I spent a lot of time in my car. I always joked that my car was my office, not my home office. I spent far more time in the car. So I'm going to get ideas or think of things that I need to do while driving. And I don't want to be texting or trying to record something or scribbling something. So we have these great voice to text things. So I can't read what's on the screen right now, or I'm going to get a prompt from my phone. This person has friends named Google and Siri. You can set this up to seamlessly link with your to-do list. So I don't use the Alexa, oh, I just said it already. All right. I don't use her to-do list, but I have it synced up that it goes to my to-do list. So there's an integration right there that everything's going to flow in seamlessly. And when I get back to my to-do list, everything that I said while I was on the run is there ready for me to do. So I did that, but there was one last place that I just kept having ideas and I couldn't remember them, right? We get great ideas in the shower, Always happened. I'd be out there drying off. What was that great idea? Well, I finally fixed it. About, I'm gonna say it's probably a good 5 years ago now. My kids were still young enough that they used these things in the bathtub, bath crayons, right here, I got one. Yeah, so they use bath crayons to draw and have fun. And there at bath time one night, I look at it and I'm like, it's a capture device. So I grabbed it, I moved their least favorite color, I think it was the pink at the time, to my shower, put it in there. And to this day, I keep a bath crayon in there. Now I have to buy them for me because they no longer care about them. But yeah, if I get an idea in the shower, I'm going to write it on the wall. And then my to-do list tells me to go look at my shower wall once a week. There it is. This is actually a photo from my shower with the note to add this to the presentation. All right, it happened. There it is. And I have finally done it fundraisers. For the friends on here that know this tip for me, I get made fun of for this one a good bit. People ask me if I have my shower crayon with me when they see me at conferences. No, I don't travel with it because I worry about writing on the hotel one and it somehow being permanent. But I have finally found a place that will put your logo on a bath crayon. They are on order. Next time you see me in person, folks, come up. I will happily give you a bath crayon for your shower wall. So finally have that Fundraiser Chad official logo item. All right, so that is capture. That's how I get stuff out of here into my system. Now we're gonna go to a tool that I use that may not work for you, but people wanna know, Chad, where's your to-do list? Where's stuff go? What kind of things do you do? Are you a bullet journal person? Do you like online tools? Well, I'll share with you. So I do like online tools. I'm pretty techie and I like everything online because then it's always with me. It's on my computer, ready to work when I want to sit down. It's on the laptop. It is in an app. Everything is synced instantly. No problems there. And this is a tool that lets me arrange things and prioritize things. I told you that was my style. So here's a screenshot of the app. Things are in projects. If you like those, you can set priorities. You can move them and drag them. You can assign tasks. I can assign tasks to my admin. It's all right there in one stop. So that works really well for me. It won't work really well for everybody, but that's one I like. Starts out free, has some premium options, but a good way. It's just where everything lives. Anything I need to do. And I like to integrate. I don't like separate systems for work, home, multiple things to manage, multiple things to break. I like it all together, but I want it organized so I can just look at what I want now. When I'm in work mode, okay. When I'm in content creation mode, all right, I can just see that. It really lets me dial that down and focus. It's a good tool. When our tools distract us even more, it becomes a bigger problem. So to get to that focus, I really use music as a tool. I'm an old band geek at heart. Those of you that logged on early heard some pre-show music, which I'm now using. Today, I think we had Awakening by Joseph Curiel, the theme from How to Train Your Dragon. Parents might have caught that one. And John Williams' first Olympic theme from, I think, the LA Olympics in maybe the late 80s. So what's that music? Well, that's a little fun and something better than rather just sitting in a Zoom waiting room. But for me, that was amping me up a little bit. It was all high power music. I was trying to get my energy level up so I'm not doing another. And now we will look at this tool, fundraisers. No, you want energy. You're on Zoom yet again. You at least need some energy and excitement coming your way. So I use playlists for that. I also have one for kind of deep creative work. That's a little lower tempo. And what this has done over time is my body, my mind is just used to it. It hears that music and it knows what's going on. So I hit that deep work playlist that's an hour and 15 minutes because that's my max concentration time. And it just helps me move into that thinking deeply, non-distracted mode. Same with the amp up. I hear that, I'm like, all right, it's webinar time. I got 10 minutes, here we go. And then I have one for relaxation too. For me, that's like classic jazz, some old school Count Basie or Miles Davis, that kind of stuff. Real low tempo, low key. You know, that and a favorite beverage and a book in the evening, that's de-stress. That's de-stress. But the playlists help tune this and tell it what it should be doing and kind of quiet that talking and stress. And they're fun to create and adjust and build over time. So use playlists. I just use Google Play Music, but you can use whatever your favorite app is and make that work for you. Other things, travel. When we travel, travel is a big time suck, right? It's all the logistics with travel just take up so much time. So you've probably heard of TripIt, but there's a functionality in TripIt that I really like. So TripIt, for those of you that don't know, it's just kind of a place to organize all of your travel logistics. You can type it in, set up big itineraries. It also has an app, so it'll sync, so then you have all your travel information with you on the run. But my favorite part of TripIt is that you are given a TripIt email address. And you may forward any confirmation emails. So your flight confirmations, your hotel, rental car, whatever it is, you just forward that directly to TripIt, and TripIt will automatically put it into your itinerary. There's no data entry. It's all automatic. You don't have to worry about filing that document. It just lives at TripIt. So I don't really spend much time on travel logistics. I actually haven't outsourced that to anybody because it's pretty efficient for me. And I secretly love to travel and I like coordinating all of that. So it's kind of fun too. If it can be fun, not take a lot of time, I'm going to keep that. So TripIt's the great tool that lets me do that. The other travel tool that is a huge time saver for me is MileIQ. So I have to log all my mileage for taxes at the end of the year. All of you have to do it when you're, out on donor visits, other things, work errands. It's a pain in the butt. Little logbooks, Excel sheets, we forget to record it. MileIQ is great because it is an app on our phone and it automatically consents when we are moving in a car and it will log. And it's just going to create these log entries like you see on the screen here. So this was, this person drove 23.9 miles on Wednesday, the 27th. It's the potential reimbursement amount and it shows you where they went to. So they drove from Dallas to Arlington. You can see the two locations. All you have to do is log into the app once a week. Well, you can do it as often as you want. I do it once a week. And you're going to swipe. I got to reverse here. So to the left for personal, to the right for business. And it's going to disregard anything you swipe for personal, and the business stuff, it's going to add on to a report. End of the month, you can just export your report. You can customize how those look, whatever, but there's your mileage reimbursement request. It is all done. It's automatic, just simple swiping, not this compiling. Those used to take me so much time. I used to have a job where I did about 130 donor visits a year. I mean, that was a huge, couple hours, and this now can become instant. So MileIQ, great tool that way. All right, I think, yes, we are ready to switch to live demos. And bear with me, I've run through it a couple times. I think things are going to go smoothly, but anytime we do live demos and switch screen shares around, things can be a little crazy. But I want to show you 3 tools, and these are probably the 3 tools that I use the most and save me the most amount of time. So that's why I chose to live demo them. Only one are we really going to see a lot of moving parts, but I just want to show you what they look like and see if I can't get you a little excited about trying them too. And the great part, free for Feedly, free for Pocket, and pretty cheap for Textexpander, 42 bucks a year. So all very affordable regardless of your budget. Let's go take a look. I am going to switch my screen share over to my web browser. All right, here we are in web browser. Oh, there's my Google playlist for webinar intro. See, I have these for everything. It's exactly the kind of thing you want to do. All right, let's look at Feedly. So Feedly is an RSS tool. So it takes an RSS feed and it presents it to you. So what's an RSS feed? RSS feed is basically like a blog feed. So anytime somebody publishes a blog article, it's going to add to this feed. So rather than subscribing to email newsletters, we don't need more email, right? I subscribe to an RSS feed. So you can get that RSS feed using Feedly. You just type in the website where the information is coming from. It's going to find the feed for you, and then you can add to it. So you can see here, I have a couple categories: business tips, fundraising, manliness, parenting, productivity, all kinds of things. But I just may use this main feed, and this keeps my email box less filled with all those fundraising newsletters that people send, but I still get to see their new blog articles. So no offense to my fellow fundraising gurus. I love you all. I just don't have time to read all your email newsletters. So I read your RSS feed. And let's look at this. Okay, so here's the feed. It has keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to click right here at the start. It's going to give me the little beginning of it and the snippet. And then I can just kind of go down through until I find something that really interests me. And I can use keyboard shortcuts. So here it is, J advances. So there's something on scouting. A stronger memory. All right. Yep. So I'm just going down through, rather than email newsletters, real quick. What are these articles? I get to something that intrigues me. I don't stop to read it. I have this little button right here, which saves to Pocket, which is the next tool we're going to look at. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save to Pocket. It's going to do it. Come on. That was a little pokey today. So that's done, and then I can keep scrolling through. So you can see I have 26 things. It's going to take me all of maybe 2 minutes to go through, flag what I want to read later. I'll do this once or twice a day. That's how I feed all of my information into my system. That's Feedly. Free tool, helps to organize that, cuts down on that email clutter, but you're not missing out on great new content from your favorite gurus or key news sources that you need to follow. So I save that to Pocket. Let's look at Pocket. All right, I'm going to click over to Pocket, to the top here. All right, so this is my list in Pocket. Pocket saves those things I save from RSS feeds. It also saves any articles that I see like on LinkedIn or Facebook, somebody shared something. It gives me this little button you see right up here in my web browser, this Save to Pocket. Anytime I click this, whatever is on the screen is going to be saved into my Pocket, and it's going to get rid of the ads and all those other things. And then when I come to Pocket, either on my web browser like you see here, or on an app on my phone, it's this nice, clean, organized place so I can just sit down and read when I have some reading time. So I'll do that like over lunch for a little break when I'm in my office. And when I'm out and about, all those little times I need to wait, like for the dentist, a waiting room, waiting to pick up my kids somewhere, rather than scrolling social media aimlessly, I'll click over to Pocket and I'll read an article real quick or two. People that tell me I don't have time to read this stuff, you do have time. It's just in these little bits, and you need to have a way to access them. So right here, you can see the feed, everything. If I click first article, it's going to go right in. It's being a little pokey because we're on a live stream here, but oh, this one's going directly to the source. That's why it's taking a little longer. But it's actually an article from Sophie. So I was on Sophie, I saw it, I wanted to read it, but this is a big, long article if I remember, and I just didn't have the time. So it's saved. I can get directly to it. Some of these articles will stay directly in Pocket, and it's an even more seamless experience. There's an article on Bloomerang. As I said, they put great content out there to the world. So Pocket, great tool, organize that reading and that learning time. Final tool I want to show with you is Textexpander. And to do Textexpander, I want to do an example. So I'm clicking over here to my Gmail. And for this scenario, we're going to say I want to send an invitation out to my friend Dan. Dan, I don't think he's on the webinar today. I think he's going to watch the recording, but Dan works at the food bank in Orlando. And I've been doing a lot of Zoom coffees. So I used to do a lot of coffee meetings. That's harder to do now. So I just do it by Zoom. So I want to invite people to just, hey, can we just get together for a Zoom chat, share a cup of coffee together, just like we used to do ages ago. And I can do this with anyone in the world now, so it's great. I kind of almost always say the same thing. So I have a template I created. Template. All right, we have templates. Hope you use a template for your donor visit requests, those kind of things. But I take the template to a next level using a tool called Textexpander. So I can just put in a saved snippet. In this case, it is /Zoom coffee. And it pops up Textexpander. And here it has the template. It's asking me for the person's first name. That's Dan. Enter. And look what it just did. It completely did my email. It populated it, and it's personalized. How are you? It's been too long. I'd love to catch up sometime soon. And then I introduce Zoom Coffee, and then there's a link to schedule it with me. It's all easy and automatic. When I was a frontline fundraiser, I did this with donor visit requests. I had 3 or 4 areas that you could personalize it. It worked very well, kind of created this optimized email template. Textexpander does a lot of things too, like commonly misspelled words, it'll automatically do. I have one, for example, that I'm trying to train myself to quit saying the quasi-sexist term guys all the time, like, hey, how are you guys doing? And I want to replace that with something more like folks or something like that. So when I type guys, Textexpander automatically changes that to folks for me. So it's simple things. What do you do all the time? I forget the EIN number for my business, so I can just do EIN and it's gonna plop that in, those kind of things. So all those simple things, email addresses, I start to type it, it will auto-complete it. Now you all know how to personally email me after this. So those kind of things, it just saves a lot of time. You get a summary email at the end of the month from Textexpander telling you how many minutes they saved you. Mine is always like at least 3 hours. That's a lot of time for $42 a year. Well worth it. These are called snippets. You create them once, they're there for you to use, and they can adapt with you over time. Just pick 2. Don't try to do a bunch at once. Pick 2 things and try them for 30 days. It's going to take some time to get used to these things, to get used to using them. Maybe there's a little friction, those kind of things. So pick 2 and go 30 days. Those are my final tools and recommendations for you. Again, my name is Fundraiser Chad Barger, CFRE. I go by Fundraiser Chad on all the social networks. Feel free to connect with me there. Again, that name was Chad Barger. It rhymes with charger. It's helpful for people. As I said, I spend my time doing fundraising, consulting, training, strategy work, a lot of coaching with small community-based nonprofits. That's where my heart is. That's where I've spent the bulk of my career, and those are the organizations I like to serve. That's it, fundraisers. Go out there, save the world, use some of these awesome tools. Take care.